Hi guys, this is crazy. Oh my gosh, this is insane. I just wanted to hop on here before this video starts and just say thank you to everyone who clicked on the video. You can skip this part, I'm sorry. I don't know. I explain it in the intro on why I stopped for a moment in just life and everything, but I am really excited to start posting videos again and just doing what I love to do. I got my camera back. I just ordered my camera that I lost. I say I lost in the video. And I'm just really looking forward to everything that's to come. I know I'm not super big to be saying this, but I do have 400 subscribers that I kind of left in the dust. So I'm sorry. I don't know. Thank you to everyone who stays subscribed and to everyone who is new that's joining. Hi, welcome in. I don't know, it was very therapeutic, and I really don't mean to bash anyone who's in this video anymore, because it has been 4 years since this whole situation even happened. So if anyone's feeling offended, please do not show up to my house or do anything crazy, it's just content at the end of the day. I hope that you guys are able to find a safe space in me, and that you guys also tell your stories if you guys have any. I also wanted to say I'm sorry if I'm kind of bad at storytelling again. I'm going to get better, I promise. I just got off of work, so I'm a little bit tired. So yeah, okay. Hi guys, it's Lonnie. Welcome back to my channel, and it has been such a long time, okay? Basically, since my last video, I broke my camera, and then I started a new job, and then I completely forgot about YouTube and all forms of social media. But now I'm back and I'm ready, and basically I'm in the right mindset just to tell stories and just do whatever the fuck I want. I feel like for a long time I was really scared of being perceived and being made fun of. Just people being mad at me, I guess, for Storytime videos. I'm at a point in my life where I am far enough away from high school, far enough away from people who I tell story times about. I don't know, I feel like the stuff that I go through and just the stuff that I've been going through in my life and just leading up to this point, I might as well make a story time off of it to entertain, or if anyone is going through the same thing, just know that you are not alone and that I am also here going through bullshit. I do want to say now I do have a loving, amazing support system and boyfriend. He really means the world to me, truly. He's so kind and he's so sweet. And I just wanted to let you know, if you guys are ever going through an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, you can leave him. If you feel that you're heartbroken from someone or an ex or whatever, it does get better, and you will find your person, because I literally was at such a crazy point in my life when I met Derek, and he just changed my life, and he is, like I said, truly the best person. He means the world to me. So I don't know, I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. You will find your person. You will eventually heal and move on and find the person you're meant to be with. So with that being said, let's start this story time. So basically the story starts in July of 2023. I had just graduated high school and I was starting my freshman year of college. I was going to a university. It's a pretty known university. It was basically the only university in my area. I was starting my freshman year there. During the summer, I didn't have a job. Obviously, I had just graduated high school, and during high school, I did cheer, so I had no job whatsoever. I'd never had time for one. Me and my two closest friends at the time, we would go on Instagram Live, and we would just go on live from our spam accounts every single night. When I tell you, we genuinely did this every single night. If we were hanging out, we would go on Instagram Live all together. I don't know, we would just talk to whoever joined our live, and it was just fun. I don't know, it was the vibe at the time. This particular night, I was actually arguing with one of my talking stages. Little backstory on this person. I had met this person through those class of 2027 pages, and where you introduce yourself and all of that. And since I had gotten posted, a lot of people were following me. He had followed me, so I followed him back. We started texting back and forth. We hadn't met in person, obviously, because we hadn't started school. Sorry, he gets added to this class of 2027 group chat filled with just all black people. It was supposed to be like a black excellence group chat. My friend ended up adding me to it. So we were all in the group chat, and let me just say, this group chat was genuinely insane, okay? So this group chat, they had a thing called after hours. I feel so bad for the girl who started this group chat because it started off so innocent, and she's Christian and was just, you know, looking for friends and starting like something very innocent and kind, and it turned very dirty very quickly. Basically, it started with us just being like, oh, what days are you guys going to orientation? Let's talk, let's throw these dorm parties, whatever, you know, just things that regular, excited, first-time college students would talk about. And then during the night, it somehow got very dirty, and all the guys and a lot of the girls would start talking very sexual and start being like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this person's gonna fuck this person. It was honestly very gross. It was like, it felt like a huge orgy between the group chat. And mind you, there was like 50 people in this group chat. Like, it was genuinely insane. And me and my friend that were in this group chat, we would just kind of watch it. This guy I was talking to, obviously, I had been talking to him since May. So I had been talking to him since before we both even graduated. So now it's July. He's kind of participating in these conversations, kind of participating in these sexual conversations with the girls. Like, it got really insane, guys. They weren't sending like nudes, but they would send very provocative, you know, pictures of themselves, and it was just way too much, okay? It was way too much. It was way too fast, first of all. Just fast, hot and ready, okay? He was partaking in these conversations, and obviously I was getting mad at him. So this particular night, I think I had blocked him, or I texted him something like, oh, I'm not talking to you, whatever, go mess with that other bitch. Something just stupid, you know what I mean? So while I was arguing with him, I was still on Instagram Live with my friends, just like talking, chatting it up. And one of my friends, I will name both of my friends. Basically, I was on Instagram Live with one friend. I'm going to call her Angel. She was going to college in LA, so she was not going to college with me and this other friend who I'm going to name Star. One of Star's friends joins the Instagram Live, and he starts commenting on it. We're all just laughing, it's whatever. And he ends up joining the Instagram Live with us. And during this time, he's like kind of flirting with me. I'm kind of flirting with him, you know. It's just kind of going back and forth. And I told him straight up, like multiple times, I was like, I'm talking to someone. Star told him that I was talking to someone. And basically, he was just not giving a fuck. Basically, I ended up telling him that me and this person were fighting. And he was like, he was basically just pillow talking for real. Like, so he just convinces me to block this person and talk to him instead. So that's exactly what I did. Eventually, we get off of Instagram Live and we move the call on Instagram Live just to regular FaceTime. So at this point, it's me, this guy, Star, and Angel. I'm gonna call this guy Manchild, and you'll see why in just a moment. We end up playing iMessage games all night, and we accidentally fall asleep on the phone. Like, literally just me and him, the only ones on the call, because Angel and Star ended up leaving the call, I think. During this Instagram Live, or during FaceTime, we made jokes like, oh, I'm gonna go to your job tomorrow. I was like, bet I'll give you a free smoothie, whatever. I ended up bringing my sister, and we drive down to the mall. Walk in, I see him for the first time in person. The bird in me literally made my friends wait in the car until he got off of work. And we got there at like a pretty decent time. We got there at like 2 p.m. or something like that. He got off at like 6 or 7. And so we went to the mall that was near his job, and we just wasted time. We went to Chick-fil-A, and then we came back, and we literally waited for him to get off work. He got off of work. I got out the car and ended up going to his car, and we all drive to this park that's near his house. So at this park, we're just kind of like playing around, flirting, teasing, whatever. Mom calls him, and he has to go. Obviously, I didn't want him to go, so I walk him to his car, and when we had our first kiss. After this night, we began texting like all day, every day. It happened very quick and very emotional. It just got very serious very, very fast. I can't say that I was not the easiest girlfriend either. I'm still not. It's just, I realize it's just who I am. I'm very picky. I am very sensitive. But one very emotional, sensitive person dating another very emotional, sensitive person, it doesn't work. This guy was very, very, very immature. He would get upset about a lot of things, and obviously I would get upset about a lot of things. So the first instance was me starting. He was there when I got sent away. I was basically going to stay with my aunt and my uncle, and I only stayed with them for like a week before I got really homesick. But he was there when I packed up all my stuff and I drove over there, and he would visit me sometimes, and we would just go through the day. It was the football game. It was the first football game of the year. It was me, it was Star, it was Man-Child, it was Man-Child's best friend, and I think a couple other people. I think Star's roommate at the time, because Star stayed in dorms. I was commuting from my house over there because, like I said, it was kind of in the same town. It was about 40 minutes away, so I would commute literally every single day to school. Everything went fine at the game, and then afterwards we went back to Star's and her roommate's dorm. We just started drinking, obviously. I'm not encouraging drinking underage, but you know, this is first year of college. Let's be real. Like, I was drinking. So he was drinking as well. He was drinking like a bottle of Hennessy. I think he had a shot or two, or maybe even 3. I don't know. So a couple hours after we're drinking, it's time to go back home. He was my ride there. We all rode together. So it was him, me, and then his best friend. Before we even got into the car, I was kind of being annoying. You know, drunk people are annoying, but I wasn't really insufferable. I was just acting drunk because I was drunk. I had accidentally set off the alarm in the dorms. The alarm didn't go off for everyone. It only went on for like the first floor, and someone quickly turned it off for us. But I had set off the alarms on accident because I went the way that I usually park to go visit her in the dorms, and I didn't know at the time that it was timed. Like, there was a certain time where it would lock, and if you push the doors after that time, the alarms would go off, and you had to go through the other entrance. I didn't see that the sign said that. Obviously, like, my vision's blurred. I'm drunk. Like, sue me. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. But I'm like, no, guys, this is the quicker way to the parking lot. And he keeps telling me, no, go this way. And I'm like, why? It's right here. Just go quicker. And he could have just been like, you're going to set the alarms off like that. You can't go there. But he didn't. He just kept saying, no, just come with me. No, just come with me. And I was like very confused. So I was like, no, guys, like, seriously, look. And so I pushed the door open, and the alarms for the first floor go off. And it wasn't the type of alarm where everyone had to evacuate. Nobody had to evacuate. They just turned it off for us. But I do understand how it was annoying. Basically, after that, he kind of grabbed me and we went to the car. I had basically apologized. I was like, oh, sorry, my bad. Like, I didn't know. He was annoyed, which is like understandable. But like, it really was an accident, and it didn't cause a whole scene to everyone. Like I said, no one had to go out of the dorm rooms or whatever, but it's fine, whatever. While we were on the way to the car, he also made me sit in the back seat because he didn't trust that I was going to like do anything or something like that. I don't know. While we were in the car, he was being very rude to me for some reason. Like, I understand that I'm drunk, but I feel like as your boyfriend, like, you're supposed to be nice. I understand if I did something like crazy, or if I was like an angry drunk, like was calling him out of his name, or like, fuck you, bitch. Like, you know, like, I would understand then, but I was just being just an annoying drunk person. I was just being like, oh my God, look at the cheese. Look at this guy. Oh my God, the lights are so pretty. Like, I was just, you know, I was just being drunk. You know what I mean? He drove me home, walked me up to my front door, and basically was like, bye, and then left. I had texted him that I forgot my charger in the car. He drove back, walked up to my doorstep, and threw the charger at me, and turned around and left. Oh, Okay, but the next day I woke up and I basically apologized for just being so annoying, because I really thought at this time, like, oh my God, like I was insufferable. And so I called my friend and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, kept telling me in the car that everyone had to evacuate and everyone had to evacuate. And I pulled the alarm and everyone had to evacuate. So I called my friend who was literally in the dorm building, and she was like, no, I didn't even hear the alarm go off. And I was like, were you sleeping? She was like, no. Like, everyone was still in the dorm room and she was completely fine. So when I called her, I was just like, yeah, I'm so sorry for being so annoying. And she was like, you weren't being annoying at all. And I was like, what do you mean? And she basically told me, like, she didn't hear it. Nothing happened. Like, it must have just been turned off really quick after I left, because literally nothing happened. And I was like, oh. And she was like, why? And I basically told her everything that had happened that night. And she was like, I actually don't like the sound of that, because I feel like I would have thought that he would have, like tucked you into bed, like took your makeup off, done something nice, but that's actually quite insane. And I was like, oh my God, that is quite insane. So she calls him, basically tells him about himself. He calls me and apologizes. And mind you, I had talked to him and I was apologizing as if I was in the wrong. But she called him and basically told him to apologize to me. And I was like, it's fine, it's whatever. So this next instance was about an In-N-Out meal. Literally, it was about an In-N-Out meal. So everything's fine after that, but a few weeks later, we decide to go to In-N-Out, and this was actually after one of my other friends at the time, senior night. So I had went down to my high school because it was the senior night of one of my old friends. She was a junior when I was a senior, so she was a senior then, and she was also on the cheer team. So I had went down there, gave her flowers, and left, literally. I didn't want to be seen as those like seniors who like peaked in high school and came back. Like, I'm still scared to go to that school now. Like, and my brother went there for like 3 more years after I graduated, and I hated going there. Hated it. At the time, I especially hated it because I had just graduated, and I know how much shit everyone talks when you come back to the school right after you graduate. And so I only wanted to be there for 3 seconds, literally. So I got her bouquet. I went down there and I gave it to her, gave her a hug. I walked down the field with her because she had asked me to. And then I left immediately after. Afterwards, he calls me and he's like, oh, do you want to hang out with me and my friend? And I'm like, oh, okay, bet, like, sure. And when he gets there, I'm like, hey, we should get Cane's, or we should get In-N-Out or something like that. It was either Cane's or In-N-Out that I said we should get. We get there and I'm like, okay, let's go through the drive-thru, because it was a Friday night and I live in California, you guys. Y'all know how packed In-N-Out gets during football season, especially for high schoolers and everything. I didn't want to go inside. I didn't want to see anyone because it was pretty late at night and the football games had just ended for all of the schools. And so one, it was just crowded. There was a lot of high schoolers and I was just getting really bad anxiety. I had really, really, really bad anxiety at this time. Like, I don't know why, but I didn't like going into crowded spaces. I genuinely just hated it. And he knew that. It was just something weird. I don't know. I just really hated it. He was like, no, like, we're not doing that. I was like, okay, so I'll wait in the car and then can you get me this, that, and that? He was like, no, you're gonna come inside with me. I start like kind of lightweight freaking out because I'm like, I really don't want to go inside. Like, can we please go in the drive-thru? It was literally my idea. I just don't want to have to do this. He's like, no, you're going to embarrass me in front of my friends. You better not embarrass me in front of my friends. Just come on. It's nothing. It's nothing. And I was just like, I really do not want to. Like, he got mad and I got mad. So I said, okay, fine. Don't give me anything at all. I'm just going to sit in the car and wait. Him and his friend got out the car and then he had walked back and he was like, can you just come out? And I was like, I really don't want to. Like, guys, when I tell you I wasn't trying to be difficult, like, I had really bad anxiety during this time. Like, it was just terrible. I genuinely couldn't get myself to go into any crowded space, especially with these people that I might know from high school. And I don't know, it was just like a weird mental, basically it's just like, fuck. And then he slams the door and then he leaves. So I'm basically just there like, what the actual fuck just happened? He gets in the front seat and he's like, I'm taking you home. And I was like, okay. We get to my house and my parents were not there. I don't think my brother was there either. They were at my Nana's house. But we're just sitting in front of the house and before I leave, he genuinely cusses me out. And he's basically like, you fucking embarrassed me in front of my friends. Why the fuck would you do that? Da, da, da. Like, it's just a whole bunch of shit. So I look at him and I'm just like, you're not gonna talk to me like that. If you're gonna talk to me like that, we're not gonna be together. I walked out and I slammed the door and he immediately was like, wait, no, I didn't mean it like that. And I was just like, no, you did. I'm done with you, basically. So I tried closing the garage door on him and he like comes through the house and I'm just like, get the fuck out my house. Like, he walks away, I close the garage door and I lock the doors to my house and I'm immediately like crying, I'm sobbing, I'm texting all my friends like, we just broke up. And I think like 10 minutes pass and I look at his location because he still has his location on and I see that he never left my house. So I'm a little cooled down at this moment. So I go outside and I get in the car. He's basically like, you wanted to leave me. And I was just like, yeah, I did. You can't talk to me like that. Of course I wanted to leave you. He was like, you promised me you would never do that. I'm just like, well, yeah, that was really upsetting. And he kept saying, I'm sorry, whatever. Like, you were gonna leave me. I can't get myself to drive. If I drive, I'm gonna do something dangerous. And basically insinuating that he was gonna crash or something, or I don't know, just some weird ass manipulative shit. I'm just looking at him and I just think it's kind of crazy, like the situation I'm in right now. And he gets out the car and he starts sobbing. I kid you not, he starts sobbing. He's like sitting in the middle of the street sobbing. And so I'm hugging him and I feel so bad. And I'm like, it's fine, I'll take you back. I'm sorry. And he's like, no, you were gonna leave me. And he's sobbing his eyes out. And I'm just like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, it's okay, I'll take you back. It's okay, I'll take you back. And I'm crying now because I'm like scared. He's like having a literal like bitch fit in front of me. Like, he's genuinely like having a panic attack in front of me. I'm like, come on, just go in the house. So I bring him inside the house and he goes to the bathroom and he lays on my bathroom floor sobbing. We go to my living room couch and then he goes on the couch and sits on my lap, or like lays his head on my lap, and he starts sobbing, saying like, oh, you're gonna leave me, you said you would never do this, da, da, da. And I was just like, what the fuck? Once he calmed down, we ended up going to my room and everything's fine after that. He's basically like, you said you would never leave me. And I was just like, yeah, but you made me really upset, but I'm sorry, that won't happen again. I'm so sorry. I didn't think that you would react that way. I'm so sorry. I didn't tell anyone about that time because I was honestly freaked out myself, because I thought he was gonna do something to himself. Literally, I was genuinely, at this point, I did start to feel a little bit trapped. And I should have left him sooner, but it was just, yeah, it was just a lot. One of the last instances before we broke up, we actually broke up because it was my fault, I guess. This was during Halloween weekend. I had literally bought an air mattress to put in the middle of Star's room with her roommate because I was going to stay there the entire weekend and just drink every single fucking night, okay? We had picked up one of Star's friends, which is a guy. He was best friends with Star. They basically considered each other like brother, sister at that point, I guess. But this person did not have a car. So he lived near me. So my friend Star, she had asked me if I could take him to the university to stay with her, to stay with all of us, basically. I had told Manchild about this and he was basically like, okay, that's fine, whatever. He didn't act like it was a big deal, whatever. And mind you, on the ride there, like I said, it was like a 40-minute ride. There was traffic, so it was more like an hour and a half, like an hour and like some change. It was a long ass ride. There was traffic. And he stayed on the phone with me and him the entire time. We were all talking as if we were just friends. He was literally on the phone with us the entire ride there. And then even some when we got out of the car. I think I had invited him to the parties, and at this point he was like, no, I don't want to go to the party. Like, just being weird. He didn't want to go to the party, so I was just like, okay, whatever. We went to the first party, and this is where it gets so messy so fucking quick. It was a frat party. We were having the time of our life, and we went with me, Star, her roommate, Star's guy best friend, and then basically the entire like level of that she stayed with. I don't know how to explain it, but basically like it was the entire hallway that she stayed with. They were all very close friends that semester. And so we had all went, it was like a huge ass group of people. We all went together. I had also became friends with these hallway people because like I said, I commuted. So I did stay the night at Star's dorm quite a lot. So obviously I would become friends with her friends and she would introduce me to people. You know, it's college, we're making friends. We're having the time of our life at this frat party. Well, I'm having the time of my life at this frat party. Suddenly, the police show up. That's when we know it's kind of shut down, it's time to go. So we ended up leaving. It was pretty late anyways, and we were there for a hot minute. In the midst of this, we were finding our friend group back, because you know, when you go with a big group of people, you're most likely not going to stay there the entire time. And so we're like reuniting with the people that we came to the party with, and I'm like, oh my god, hi, Caitlin, oh my god, like we're just drunk, you know. And so I had seen one of our other friends that was a girl, and so we're like, oh my god, and we're dancing and we're hugging and we're like, oh my god, like ah. And then we see one of our other guy friends that come in, and he jumps up, or he runs up to us. We're like, oh my god, we're over here. I had to change out cameras because my phone just died, so if the quality's a little bit bad after this, then I'm sorry. But basically, we're all shit-faced. We're all like, oh my god, yes, like I'm so excited. And we're just in a group hug, we're dancing and we're jumping up and down, and it's just, I honestly had the best time of my life that night. Like, it was so much fun. And then we got back to the dorm, and the next day we're all like debriefing, we're all talking. Her roommate, Star's roommate, shows me a TikTok that she had posted. Before I even get into this, I was not mad at Star's friend at all for posting this TikTok, because honestly, like, it's her phone, it's her TikTok page, nothing bad. There was nothing bad that actually happened that I did on there. So basically, we did those TikToks that were like, how drunk, or who do you think is going to be the drunkest? And so we were going to do it before and after, and a lot of us didn't even get to the after. Like me, I had passed out and blacked out, and literally I was gone once we got back to the dorm. So after the first segment happens, it cuts to the next segment where I'm already asleep in the dorm. So I'm not a part of any of this, and it's just her and the other friends talking. And in the video, she's kind of just having fun with her other friend. She's laughing, giggling, whatever. And then the guy in the back, he starts talking about me. And he starts talking about like, oh my god, Lonnie's bad as fuck. Lonnie's bad as fuck. And then she's like, she has a boyfriend. And he's like, oh my god, but she was hugging on me all night. Like, when she was hugging on me though. And so I'm watching this TikTok back, and I'm like, oh my god, this is literally crazy, because I was not hugging on him. So the moment that he's talking about was when we were all together, like jumping around and having a group hug, multiple people, and we were just jumping around, being drunk and just acting crazy. But in no way was I crossing any sort of boundary. Like, these were my friends. These are people that, like I said, we were just joking around, having a good time. At most, it was a side hug that I had from him. So like, it was me and one girl and then him, and we were all just like, whoa, you know, like hands over the shoulders, just like, woo. But I was with the girl most of the time. He had just came in for just that moment for like 5 seconds. And obviously he was shit-faced too. He was actually crossed, I believe. And he was saying like, oh, but she was hugging all up on me. She was hugging all up on me. And I wasn't. So I was like, this is genuinely insane. I text Manchild and I tell him about the TikTok, and I'm thinking it's going to be like a haha kiki, like that's so weird, which now I understand why someone would be upset about that, but I still don't understand why the anger was directed at me. So obviously I'm telling him this, I'm not keeping it a secret, because like, I thought that it would be worse if it did possibly come up on his For You page and he seen it and it was just, you know, there was no explanation. So I sent him the TikTok and I literally tell him like, oh my god, this never happened, like this is so weird, ha ha ha, like whatever. He does not find it funny in the slightest. He gets so mad at me, and he's just like, what the fuck? Huh? Why is he saying that then? Why is he saying that then if it didn't happen? And my friend Star, who has also been his friend longer than I've even known him, she's like telling him like, no, like literally nothing happened, like chill the fuck out, like for real. And he's just mad basically, but we still have another party to go to that night. And I had invited him to that party, but he was like, I'm not coming. And I was just like, okay, fine, don't come. So I was mentally preparing for him not to come. And honestly, at this point, I can say I did not want him there at this point, because his attitude was going to suck. Like, I already knew him. I didn't want him there at that point. I didn't want him there, not so I could go and flirt with other guys, but just because I knew he was just going to drain the energy out of me. Because whenever Oh, that's weird. Because whenever I got drunk with anyone that wasn't him, he just got upset. And it's not because I'm a flirty drunk or because I just am so hard to handle. Like, no, I've never been like that. He just had some weird thing about it. I don't know. So I'm getting ready for this party and he calls me and he's like, oh, I'm gonna come. I'm on my way. I'm coming. And I was like, okay. And so that kind of blew me because I was just like, damn, fuck, like, I just don't want the mood to be down. So then he comes, like, everything's fine, everything's chill, I guess. But honestly, I did have an attitude when he first came because just the argument that we were having earlier that day and just whatever the fuck, I don't know. Like, and so he gets there and he brings two of his friends. We end up going to the party, but the party was like right across the street from the dorms. So everyone was saying to walk there or drive. So the entire time, him and his friends were complaining that they didn't want to walk. I was like, well, we're gonna walk. Like, the entire group is gonna walk. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna drive. And then I didn't see them again. So I just assumed that they had gotten to their car and drove off. So me and our group, we end up walking there. We end up finding him there. And he's like, where the fuck were you? Da, da, da. And I was just like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, you didn't tell us that you were leaving. And I said, what do you mean? We all walked out together and you guys walked the opposite direction to the parking lot. And we were walking straight. What do you mean? You knew we were leaving. We got you guys and we all walked out together. You guys turned the opposite way. And so I was just genuinely confused, but he was upset about that. And that's, for one, that's the first thing. And so obviously my mood's just kind of ruined. It's just kind of done. And also this party didn't allow us to bring drinks in. And I had like a bottle of like tequila that I genuinely couldn't get myself to drink down without a chaser. We didn't have no chaser. We didn't have anything. And we had to drink it all in the line. So I only had like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 sips of it that I could like get down without a chaser. And then I just threw the rest away because I was like, I can't do this. And someone had snuck in their little pen. Someone had snuck in a pen. And so while we were in the party, one of the girls who snuck in her pen was giving it around to us so that we could, you know, not be sober. So she ends up giving her pen to Star's friend, the guy friend who was there that weekend as well. And then he ends up giving it to me. So after he gives it to me, I take it, I go to the bathroom, I smoke it, I come out and I pass it on back to her because it was hers. And mind you, it was going through everyone. Like, this is honestly very disgusting, but it was going through everyone, girls and guys. Like, we were all sharing it because we couldn't bring drinks inside the venue. So he gets mad about this, and the entire time I'm also very annoyed because while I'm trying to dance with my friends and like dance in a circle, he's like behind me the entire time and just like grabbing me from behind and just like keeping me like right next to him or like glued to his hip. And I'm sorry, but like when I'm in a relationship, like I still love partying to this day. I still love going to the club with my girls. I still love partying. I party with my boyfriend now and we dance together and we do all these sorts of stuff, but he doesn't want to dance. He's just sitting there and just like holding me and keeping me close and following me everywhere and just tracking my every last move and like just being right down my throat while I'm talking to anyone. And it's just really pissing me off because it's just like, can we just have fun? Like, I just want to dance and have fun. Like, stop acting like I'm a child, literally. I end up just being like, let's go home. He drops me off at my place, and the next day we have a talk about everything that happened at the party. He tells me, like, I just feel like you didn't want me there, whatever. And I don't remember if I lied and told him, no, I absolutely do want you there, or if I said straight up, well, I just don't, no, that's what I said. I just didn't want him down my throat, basically, while we were at the party. I told him that I didn't want him down my throat, and I was annoyed basically the entire time. And then he brings up the TikTok again with the guy saying that I was hugging all up on him all night. And then he also brings up this thing that Star's best friend had told him when I had walked away or something like that. It was when I went to the bathroom. Star's friend went up to him and was like, oh, you better get your girl before she get took. That little phrase just... So that's why he was acting genuinely insane the entire party because this guy had told him that, and he never told me, he didn't tell me during the party that this guy said that. And so basically he didn't trust me, and I don't know, I didn't know at the time what I could do to make him trust me. We just kept arguing about this for like about 2 days. We just kept having arguments about this, just about the TikTok and everything. And even Star tried to defend me and be like, nothing happened, because nothing did happen. All this stuff, like, I still am very confused why her friend even said that to him. So I was basically just trying to prove my innocence to someone who didn't trust me, and I didn't know what to do. So then later that night, he had called me and he just said, I think we should break up. And I said, I think we should too. And we broke up. That was that. I tell him, your stuff is on my front porch. You can just get it in the morning. My mom will be there. He basically gets mad at me because I agreed with him and I didn't try to fight for the relationship. And I was just like, why would I fight for it? Like, you don't trust me. You don't trust anything I'm saying at this point. Why would I try to fight for it? Like, if you can't trust me, then I don't want to be in a relationship with you, period. And maybe you made the right call. Maybe we should break up. So he comes the next morning and he basically talks to my mom, and my mom tells him everything. He tells her things, and it's just a very long conversation. And after I get back, my mom's like, he's thinking about talking it out with you. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Because I had left to go to school. I was at school. He had went to my house to get like his PS5 or his Xbox or whatever, and then a few of his other things. He finds out that my friends were calling him insecure over everything that happened. And he gets very upset with me, and he's like, why didn't you defend me? Why didn't you defend me? He pulls up to my house and he's basically crying, sobbing to me, being like, you let them call me insecure and they think I'm just a little bitch and all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there just like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He keeps being like, let me check your phone. Let me check your phone. I'm not giving him my phone. I'm literally laughing in his face. I'm like, I'm not giving you my fucking phone. Like, what are you talking about? And he's just very, very upset. It gets to a point where he literally like screams, like he's like punching his steering wheel and screaming. And it's in that moment, I genuinely lost feelings for him, like completely. Like, I got the ick. I go back in the house and my mom and my stepdaughter are just like, how did it go? And I was just like, we're not getting back together. He's crazy. That's literally what I said. And I tell them what happened. They were like, yeah, you need to stay away from that, basically. A couple of days go by. I'm kind of depressed about the whole thing because I just feel like, I don't know, I was just very depressed. Like, obviously I did miss him a little bit, but I was just depressed about the situation because I was just like, and trigger warning, I had met up with this person who I thought was my friend and ended up me. That is a whole different story that I do not want to talk about at all. But that basically happened in the midst of me grieving this old relationship and just navigating everything that happened. Another thing had happened to me. I had also told him just some very personal stuff that had happened in the past, and it was just a whole lot. When that happened, like, everything just broke inside of me and I had just completely lost it. And then while I'm trying to go through this, he calls my friend, she calls Star, and he basically is like, I want my glasses back. So he's talking about a pair of sunglasses. He left them at my house, and my sister ended up wearing them for like an outfit. She wore them out somewhere, and I had never seen them again. We were still together when she took the glasses. And so I genuinely didn't know what happened. My sister, she ended up moving out. So she took the glasses with her, and I did not see it. And when he first mentioned this to my friend, me and my mom ripped down like her entire room, my sister's entire room, my room. We looked everywhere for these glasses and we could not fucking find them. Like, we could not find them for shit. He kept blowing me up. He kept blowing my friend up. He would text my friend multiple times about these glasses. And I kept saying, I don't have them. I'm looking everywhere for them. I genuinely don't have them. Just leave me alone. And he kept saying that I was keeping the glasses from him to keep him contacting me, basically, which was not the case. That was the last thing I wanted. I told my mom every single time he contacted me or Star, and it started getting a little bit scary. Like it was nonstop for months. And at this point, we had broken up in October. So like literally right at Halloween, we had broken up. And he was still texting me until January. So this was months, and I texted him, told him multiple times that I didn't have them. In the midst of this, we had reconnected, and I had texted him. And I was really just looking for an outlet because I was also going through it a lot, very like mentally. So I ended up telling him what happened to me a few weeks after we broke up, and he basically called me a hoe and said it was my fault and basically just blamed me for what happened. And so I obviously didn't feel good about that. I felt very embarrassed. So I had tried texting him, and he was just like, can you just stop texting me? And I was just like, okay, fine. And so I blocked him. When we were cool, I had told him, like, yeah, we looked everywhere. We don't have the glasses, but if we do find them, like, I'll let you know. And we never found them. We kept telling him, even after that situation, I kept telling Star to tell him she doesn't have the glasses, like, she can't find the glasses. And she did, and he didn't take no for an answer. He kept being like, pay me for the glasses then. These weren't, like, luxury glasses. I'm pretty sure they were expensive. I think they were like $100 or something like that. 150 bucks, whatever it was. They were, I'm not gonna say they were cheap, but they weren't like. And so I kept being like, I don't have them. Like, I never wanted to keep it away from you, but my sister took them. Like, she took them with her. We don't know where she is at the moment. Sorry, but we don't know where she is at the moment. And yeah. And then he started threatening me with the glasses. So he said something like, oh, give me the glasses or I'm gonna find a way to get them myself. And so I took it as he's going to try to break in my house, or he's gonna try to come in my house or do something dangerous. Like, obviously I'm not taking that lightly. I call him after he sends that text to my friend, and I say, if you come to my house, I will fucking tase you. And then I hang up the phone. I told my mom immediately after what he said, and I told her what I said in response. And she was just like, okay, that's good, just ignore it, whatever. The next day, he texts my mom, and he tells her everything that happened the night before. And mind you, I had already told her all of this. So she already knew what happened, and she tells him, like, she told me what happened and that you threatened to go find a way to find the glasses yourself, and you need to stop calling and texting us. Just please leave our family alone, basically. He doesn't respond back, but a couple of hours later, he calls her and he gets his mom on the phone. So now his mom is talking to me, my mom, and him. And so we're all on a big call together. On this call, his mom proceeds to tell my mom that I am sexually harassing him. I am stalking him. I will not leave him alone. I'm texting him. I'm calling him nonstop. And I am fucking other guys. I was very much not consenting of that one, basically. At this point, I had not told my mom about what happened to me because I was also very ashamed and I was scared and I didn't like reliving the situation. So I only told him and my close friends. So when she says this to my mom, I'm just very shocked. She hears what they're saying and she's like, basically like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? All of this over some glasses. His mom is like going off on my mom, being like, you need to send money for the glasses, you need to compensate, whatever. And my mom's like, what the fuck? And then they're like, your daughter's been sexually harassing him, all the sorts. And the entire time I have been the one trying to get away from him. So he's contacting my friends, he's contacting me, he's threatening to come to my house and find a way to get the glasses back, glasses that I do not have. And no matter what, no matter how many times I'm telling him to leave me alone, he's not doing it. But I'm sexually harassing him and I'm harassing him. I'm calling him nonstop and I'm stalking him. So when she exposes what happened to me, my to my mom. My mom hangs up, and I break down into tears, and I tell her everything that happened that night, start to finish. And I told him because I was lonely and I thought that I could confide in him, and she hugs me for a very long time. It was honestly very sad. It was very sad, but after I did tell her, she had contacted his mom and was like, I'm going to send you money. Please leave me and my family alone. And she sent his mom more than what the sunglasses were. She sent his mom $200 to leave me and my family alone. I told my mom I didn't want police involved because I was just scared, and I just didn't want to go through that or be known as the girl who, you know. A month later, I am just on the phone with one of my friends and I'm drawing. My mom calls me over and she's like, who is this? And I'm like, what do you mean? She shows me ring camera footage of someone coming to my front door, banging on it, and running away. And this person had a mask on. So they had a mask, they walk up to my door and they're just, and then they run away. It's almost midnight at this point, and my mom had also went through a very hard surgery at this time. She was not in her right state of mind at this point because she had just gone out of surgery. So she was still a little bit, you know, loopy. She was out of it. I'm just thinking, I'm like, this better not have been him. Like, please, Lord, please free me of this man. I call Star up and we're trying to figure out who this is, and Star went to high school with him and his friends, so she's going through all of his friends Instagrams and just going through all their posts, and she sees one friend who's wearing the same exact mask in his Instagram post as the one he used to come to my house and bang on his door. After we figure out, yes, one of his friends literally came to my door and started banging on my door in the middle of the night, she calls man-child. She's like, did you do this? He's like, no. She's like, we know you did it. We see your friend. He's wearing the same mask on. You guys are idiots. And he's like, oh, I didn't do it. I was in bed the entire time. And so the next morning, I sent all their Instagrams to my mom. And my mom calls up his mom and basically tells her, he came to my house last night banging on my door. I just got out of surgery. I am up. Like, I am in a lot of pain. Please leave us alone. We sent you $200 for you guys to leave us the alone. He said lies about me. Everything that he said about me was a lie. We went through this entire conversation of leaving us alone just for you to come to my house and start banging on my door in the middle of the night. His mom was not very happy, or she came to his room while my mom was on the phone and she snatched him up, basically beat his ass while my mom was on the phone. So that was very fun to like witness. After that, I had not heard from him since. I think he did try to contact Star and get her to get me on the phone and basically apologize to me, but Star was like, no. But then the guy after him I found out was a felon. So if you guys want to hear that story, please let me know. I don't know what he's doing with life. There actually was a situation, but I need my cousin with that situation because that happened like 2 years later, and that was honestly very funny, and I don't regret that situation at all. And me and my cousin Amari were just being very, very, very messy. So whenever he comes over, I'll tell that story time. But that's basically it. Getting called out your name and getting cussed out and doing all this, that is not normal in a relationship. Your relationship should be filled with peace and love and happiness. And if you made it all the way through, thank you so, so much for listening. I can't wait to keep making story times for you guys. But this was very therapeutic, and thank you so much for watching. Please follow my Instagram, my Snapchat, my TikTok, all right here, and the link in the bio. Please subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can get a notification every time I post a new video. And yeah, thank you so, so much. Bye. Mwah. Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can